Hi there, it's Jack, the Deputy Editor of Forestry Journal magazine. I've made my way over to the fencing area where I'm joined by Stuart from McVeigh Parker. Stuart, how's the show going? How's the APF going for you?
We've had a great first 2 days. We had a demo day on the first day showcasing our Clip-X fencing, our Triple X fencing system, which went very well. Big crowd, great numbers and footfall onto the stand. And then yesterday was the British Open Fencing Championships, first time hosted. So we sponsored and organised the event. Went extremely well. 12 two-man teams competing against each other to a very specific agricultural fencing specification, and went extremely well. Well supported crowd-wise and by the APF. So yeah, we're very, very happy with the way things went.
So I can imagine the fact it's at APF, the fact you're such a diverse audience that here you can probably reach people you might not expect to normally as well.
Absolutely. You get the range, especially with the addition. We've brought the sort of fencing element into the forestry side of things of the show, which has suddenly got a bit of a following. We did some demonstration work and some sort of quite fun speed tests and things last time around 4 years ago, and we had such a good response we decided to up our game a little bit and introduce the British Championships. So I think it works very, very well. You've got similar demographics. So it lends itself to that. The guys that are doing the fencing, they're obviously very keen on outdoor work, so that they're looking at the similar sort of machinery, the chainsaw element and all that. So it kind of goes hand in hand. So for those sort of people, it's great. It's kind of a trade event, not huge amounts of public come to it. So for us, it's great. The people that you're speaking to are people that you more than likely hope get a bit of business from. So that's all part and parcel of it, obviously. Yeah,
and when you're speaking to them, what kind of conversations have you been having? What are people talking about in fencing at the moment?
It differs. You've still got the traditional fencing, as per everything you can see here. This is very, very traditional, to the point where everything was done by hand. They were allowed power tools, so chainsaws, drills, augers. Other than that, everything that you see here was done by hand. So I mean, some of the intricacy in the wire work and everything is extremely skilled workmanship and fantastic to see. So you've got people at the top of their game in traditional fencing that were also. We had the judges here that are traditional fencers as well, and they did the demos with the Triple X fencing the day before. So they were doing things that they hadn't done, and that's kind of the next step up. Where timber is perhaps not so feasible as we go forward with the way things are, then you've got to look at other options. So yeah, there's that change in the guard of materials, as it were, and other options out there now, which is great. Everyone get that choice of what you want to use. It's more widespread now and more readily available. Yeah, and without wanting to ask an obvious question, what are those other options? What other materials are people looking at right now? Well, now you've got. I mean, we've fought long and hard with the RPA over introducing alternatives. So they've always specified the traditional timber as part of that. So we've argued the case and shown them the benefits of. So you've now got the option of recycled plastic. You've got the steel element as well. So that's all within the government stewardship schemes now, which just opens up. We sell an awful lot of timber, so we don't have to sell the steel. That's not our big agenda. The timber is still far more, percentage-wise, probably 80% of our business. But it's just opening that up to the end user to have that choice of what they want to use. The steel, obviously, longevity-wise and ease of use, it sort of trumps the timber in many ways. In certain applications. So it's just widening that variety of material that can be used, really. So there are other elements coming in now on the green element that are feeding fencing in quite a big way. So we've seen quite a change in the last 2-3 years, where especially the rewilding and woodland creation, as that's come through and the money's come through for the end user on that, becomes a viable option to start turning profitable land into that woodland side of things, that they'll spend the money on it, and obviously they've got that grant element which helps alongside that. So, yeah, it certainly does. And I guess then maybe just following on from that point of view, you do have that
I guess, unique perspective of the industry, being able to see the whole thing. What kind of position do you see the forestry industry being in at the moment? How is it placed as things stand, would you say?
Well, we're not massively into it other than the fencing side of things. But on the fencing side, as I said, there's a lot of creation schemes. There's a big drive for the planting element, which obviously is going to feed the forestry industry as we go forward on a long-term plan. So we're with the Forestry Commission and Forestry England at the moment with their new sort of planting schemes, which are predominantly what I've seen with the changes. They're looking to plant a wider variety of trees, different species, in order to cater for the global warming element, in effect, where are the homegrown species going to be able to cope with the warmer weather that seems to be occurring, and these extremes, so that's being broadened. And as that's being broadened, you have the element of the deer. They find that some of those species far more palatable. So then you've got the tree guard element is probably not quite up to where it needs to be to stop that predation as it was of the species with the deer. So we're seeing a lot more fencing on that front, purely through that species element and it being palatable to those that choose to try and pinch it. So we've seen many changes, and you look at the machinery side of things as well. I worked on farms from I think the mid 80s onwards before I came into this element of it, and the mechanisation of things walking around here is just quite jaw-dropping at times. So you see that all the time. Innovation, does seem to get driven very, very, very well by this actual industry, I think.